So we finally come to an end of a certain saga from Apple. Probably one of the most complicated and probably one of the weirdest iPhones Apple's ever made that affected them for the longest time was actually the iPhone 6 Plus. And what's very interesting is that Apple has now just gone through and pretty much just created, made this iPhone vintage. So what this means is they basically, after a couple of years, they'll go ahead and create an iPhone, and then they'll go ahead and, after it's unsupported for a long period of time, they'll go ahead and, classify it as they'll go and classify it as a vintage iPhone, which basically just means that this iPhone is just a vintage iPhone to them. It's an older iPhone. And because of that, they pretty much not only do they no longer sell it, but they're also obsoleting it. So now they're considering this iPhone completely obsolete, not even just a vintage iPhone. This is a obsolete iPhone from Apple's standpoint, which is actually pretty crazy. Now, the thing here that's very interesting was that this is not just any ordinary iPhone. This was, and I think it still is, one of the best-selling phones of all time. But on top of that, this was also pretty much one of the biggest changes Apple made from one generation to the other. But this also probably, at the same time, caused the most amount of problems for Apple for a period of time. It was like several generations of, times. It was like a long time where basically the iPhone 6 Plus was just continuing to just cause too many issues for Apple. And I do think that in and of itself was a very big deal for a lot of people within Apple. And I will definitely tell you, Apple was not happy about it whatsoever. So as of this point, that's kind of where we're at. Now, with this particular iPhone, the thing I'll definitely tell you is that in a lot of ways, this device really is not worth buying anymore. In fact, this iPhone was not even worth buying probably 4 or 5 years ago. I think ever since 2019 or 2020, this iPhone pretty much has been unsupported with software. So because of that, it doesn't really make a lot of sense to go ahead and purchase a device like this when you can easily go and buy a supported device that's still supported, that's still good. Those types of iPhones make a lot more sense, especially when you consider that this thing is pretty much no longer getting software support. It makes zero sense to go and buy an iPhone like this from that caliber when you can go and buy something that's still supported. So that, number one, is the main thing that I'd recommend everyone to kind of keep their eye on, is to buy an iPhone that is still supported with software. But on top of that, when you think of something like the iPhone 6 Plus, there was a specific issue that caused even more problems, which was that Bendgate issue. Basically, these iPhones are able to bend very easily. And because of that, a lot of people didn't want to buy these iPhones. A lot of people were persuaded of not purchasing this iPhone because they wanted a more secure device. They wanted something that had a little bit more, capability and more durability. And this iPhone was not giving you that. So I think Apple, in a way, is kind of happy that they pretty much have moved on from this iPhone and they pretty much obsoleted it at this point. If you have any other thoughts or questions, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that will mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out, till then.